so beautiful. I'm astonished by how well this thing flies. Hey guys, John here, and welcome back to John's RC. And this is the Flex Innovations Twin Otter 80E. Now, this is probably the biggest airplane I have ever flown, and it's just a really beautiful model. You can see here I have my little E-flite UMX Twin Otter for comparison, and you know, it can rest on the fuselage. This thing is like nothing compared to this plane. So I'm going to give you a little bit of information about the plane, and then I will do a little flight for you. So this comes as a plug-and-play airplane as per the Super PNP versions of planes that Flex Innovations has been doing. So that means all you need to supply yourself with is your flight battery, transmitter, and satellite if you choose or opt in to use the Otter 80E gyro that comes pre-equipped in the plane. Everything else, like the motors, ESC, and the servos, all come pre-installed. So I'm going to open this up for you and just show you what's inside quickly. And here we go. So you can see here, this is actually really interesting. I've never seen anything like this before, but the ESCs for this plane are in the wing, and that makes sense. I mean, there's motors on the wing, and you can see here there's these two the EC3s, one on this side and one on this side, and they connect in series into an EC5 to power the plane, and that's connected to a 6-cell 7,000 milliamp hour battery pack. Now over here is a Spektrum 4610T satellite receiver, and it's just connected to the Otter 80 to run on an IX14 transmitter. And yeah, so you can see here, if you've watched my Mamba video, they actually share a bunch of things in common. And one of them is actually this battery tray. It's the same type of battery tray on the Mamba, and you can see it's just like a thumb screw. And I've actually found that it really doesn't need this battery tray. You can definitely just leave the battery tray on, and you can just slide the battery in and out from the fuselage. You don't need to take out the actual tray. But yeah, it's running the Potenza 40 motors on both sides. And actually want to just talk about the sheer size of this plane really quick. This model has a wingspan of 2286 millimeters and a length of 1886 millimeters, and the flying weight, probably the heaviest plane I've flown. It has a flying weight of 4450 grams, and that's around 9 pounds and 13 ounces. So it's definitely a hunk of foam. But hopefully these these motors can power it. Now it has 7 servos on the plane. There are 2 for the ailerons. So there's one here, and there's 1 for the elevator, 1 for the rudder. There's 2 for the flaps. And there's actually an individual servo for the landing gear, and I thought this was very interesting. I thought this plane is really long, but I thought for some reason the servo was just really just like a long tie all the way to the landing gear, but that doesn't make sense because the servo is facing outwards, so that would never work. But yeah, so there's individual servo in the nose that comes off with these 3 screws, and yeah. So you can see here it still has these the lightweight Flex Innovation prop that was also seen on the Mamba 10E, and now there's 2 of them on a really big plane. So yeah, let's go and fly her. Okay. Flip it over. Let's get this twin Otter out of the way. Can go here for a bit. So one final control check. Flaps are working. Throttle's working. All right. Let's just go for it. All right. Taking off. Okay, from what I saw on the takeoff, the flaps really affected that plane. That looked like a C-130 takeoff with the rockets. But it might need some mixing between the flaps and the elevator because, yeah, that was sketchy. So I just won't be flying with flaps for the rest of the flight. Needs minor trims. Feels absolutely great in the air though. Gonna be flying this really tame. See how well it does on a hover. I'll get closer for you.
Gentle giant.
Really? So tame in the air. I'll come around. Let's try some hovering. That's the vertical. Absolutely no problems hovering. It actually does it very easy. That is wild. It's so floaty in the air, despite it being 9 pounds. Yeah. It's the heaviest plane I've flown. The rudder authority on this is so amazing. Yeah, but I have it disabled off. That's the knife edge that we're working with. Yeah, that's not even full rudder. Now I quite honestly have been flying it at like 25% power this entire time. Let's punch it to full. This is full throttle. Clear. Let's try that again, but lower. So beautiful. I'm astonished by how well this thing flies. All right, let's go ahead and land it. Definitely without flaps because that was crazy.
Is it good on landing?
Yep. Just check out. All right, that was my flight on the Flex Innovations Twin Otter 80E, and this thing is just a fantastic performer. You really do get what you pay for with this plane. It's the power from this thing is crazy. I was hovering at like 10% throttle, and it handles like inverted. It handles your knife edge really cleanly. The Aura does do a bit of mixing to help for the coupling on knife edge. So you can see if I do move my rudder to the right, you're gonna have a little bit of left aileron to counter for the coupling, and yeah, it just works out really nicely. It's definitely something that I wasn't used to. Normally I don't even fly twin engine planes at all, but it's a really unique airframe, the Twin Otter. I've had 3 Twin Otters now, or I've flown 3 Twin Otters now, the UMX one, the E-Fly one, and now this one. And I think this one flies the most unique. when you throw it into a spin, it was a little overwhelming for me. I didn't really I wasn't expecting what it was going to do, but it kind of just did a little tumble, and it felt really nice. Now, I was flying it on sport mode the entire time, and that disables the flaperons. I just did clean sport flying, so no flaperons, and I disabled the differential thrust, so it just flies like a regular airplane. So you can definitely do a lot more with this plane with the flaperons. This aileron roll rate, that's just like half of it. Once you get the second flaperon, this thing is probably gonna roll like a monster. And you know, you have your advertised 720 degree turn with your differential thrust that I did not test out. But yeah, it's definitely the biggest plane that I've flown. It's probably one of the nicest planes I've flown. I think it's really up there, maybe in my top 1 or top 2. But yeah, so thanks for tuning to John's RC. And if you're new to this channel, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. Bye guys, I'll see you in the next one.
Awesome flight, John. Congratulations, buddy.